All right, what's going on, everyone? I just posted that I was live, like, basically everywhere. So, hope everyone's doing good today. I'm gonna be on for like an hour. Got a bunch of stuff that I want to look into today on stream. Uh, so what's going on? Dude, last night was crazy. Franklin and 6-7 pumped so hard, and I fumbled again. So yeah, here's gonna be the plan for the stream today. Um, we're gonna go over like some established tokens. I'll look for some new stuff. There was that Fed meeting today. Market's been pumping a little bit. Haven't eaten yet today, so I'm probably only gonna stream for like an hour. But yeah, I'll start off by just seeing how everyone's doing. How have all of you been enjoying the past couple days? I didn't stream yesterday just because I wanted to focus on trading. Basically, what I did yesterday is I aped insane size into Franklin, made like 7 or 8K, and then sold, and then the White House fucking posted about it again, and it pumped. What's up, JT? Dude, my Noti gang is like non-existent. My Noti gang used to be so cash. What did I used to do? Noti gang giveaway and then cash for there was a lot of cash. It was a nice operation that I had going on there for sure. Yeah, there's the wheel, right? It was I didn't have a wheel. I just did Nightbot, but yeah. How are things going with you, man? Oh yeah, I forgot you're in school. What about content? What's going to be the plan? We need to get you hashtag full time. Oh man, I just got to flip over to the charts and get it going. You're trying to find someone to pay for your living arrangement. Like you want to find somebody that's just going to pay for you to live there? Was your old situation that bad, or I guess you were in the relationship at that point? It was that bad. Dude, I downgraded so hard. If you think about it, do you remember my old setup? That shit was so clean. I had the best setup ever. People think that I'm in like my mom's basement, but it's like this is just a side bedroom in my apartment that I've lived at for 3 years. Which, by the way, I fucking hate where I live. This is all non-crypto, all personal with Ash. The closet door blocked. That's the bathroom door. It's not really blocked. It's just out a little bit. It's one of those where like the closet is in the bathroom. But yeah, dude, my little office here, this place sucks. The good news is that I do have like a full room, but when you compare it to what I had before, dude, my old setup, the living room setup, I had the best place. Post relationship grief. Yeah, well, I don't know what your old place was like, but I'm assuming that it was just some apartment where you had a like an additional bedroom, but it wasn't like the nicest place. And I don't know like if you were paying for anything or you couldn't yell. I kind of can't yell either. But that's just because my old place was so much better. My old place was made out of I don't even know what the fuck like I could play music as loud as I wanted to and nobody cared. Am I buying Kermit? No, I'm not buying Kermit. But I've seen it. What's up, Corvex? You need a yelling shack? Yeah, you need like a house. Dude, that's what I need. I need my own house where I can yell and I can have like an awesome setup. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have like a podcast room, a game room, an office. If I'm being honest, like I've hit the point in my life where I could definitely upgrade. I've been very I don't know if you guys are ever in these situations, but like I've been very complacent. My rent has been so cheap and I spend so much time on my computer that I've always kind of psyoped myself into saying like, I'll just get up and work and everything. But dude, I'm like depressed. Tiump has a tiny home with fiber that's on his parents' massive property. How do you know that? That seems like does he talk about it? I feel like that seems very unlike T Hump to admit that he lives with his parents. I want to know what he does. You know we were talking about the other day we were talking about like checked out streamers and stuff. I have thought a little bit about like what does liquid 72 hours do or like liquid poach? Like what did those like what do those guys do for work? Like did those guys like have to go work? Like they were really big streamers, but like did they make millions enough to where like they didn't have to work? Like I wonder what their contracts were and like how much they were making from streaming. But it's just the thing that's weird about that is like there's nothing wrong, obviously, with having to go back to work. I'm talking about specifically like these streamers that had like tens of thousands of views and were like competing and playing in big events and stuff, and they were like the guys. Pro tip: find any excuse to leave the house as much as possible, especially when you don't want to. One thing that I'm gonna start doing, I'm getting a new car, or I got a new car, and it's being delivered like next week. I'm gonna like make it a point to go drive it like every day and enjoy the fruit of the labor. Maybe they still stream, yeah, but like, how many subs do you have to stream full time? You see what I'm saying? You know what I mean. Which car? I bought a Lexus SUV 2025. First vehicle I've ever, well, I've had one car for my entire life, and I've been driving it for 15 years, and it just doesn't stop working. So I'm going to, or I got my new one, and I'm keeping my old one too, and we're gonna see if I like it. Is my car lifted? My current car is. My new one is too. It comes with a slight lift from the factory, but I'm gonna drive it first, see if I like it, lift it later. Did I peep today's episode of PvP Fuckfest? Cheeseburger versus cheeseburger? I didn't actually. Uh, I was sleeping when that happened, but last night I lost like 4K on BNB PvP, which is the first time I've ever experienced a fuckfest of PvP on BNB like that. It was so bad. How is that thing still running? I just always changed the oil and all of like the other, like the transmission fluid, the transfer case fluid. Like I was just always doing that. I use premium gas uh in it as well, and it's a Toyota, so Toyotas tend to last a while. So I don't know. The car has 205,000 miles on it. And it was funny when I was getting the new one, I was thinking about like, do I sell my old car? And I just told myself that I wasn't going to. I don't have a dog right now, but I feel like if I did get a dog, like if I ever wanted to take him to the dog park or something, I just want to put him in the old car and not the new one kind of thing. It'd be cool to have like a car that you could just do stuff in and have it not matter what happens to it. But so JT, do you have any plans to move? Or what's gonna happen? Or are we living? I need to move somewhere cool. I know. Dude, you don't know where I live right now? But let me tell you, it was the most incredible downgrade of all time. Like, I moved from a city that I knew and loved into literally this small fucking town in a state fucking so far away. I don't regret it, but like, something's got to give. You haven't been on BSC in a minute? What was the PvP? I can't even really explain it. It's like there's a mascot for this giant TV show, and it was just PvP'd. And the issue that I made is I was on BNB, and you see how like this is Solana. I have like 1, 2, 5, and 10. So I made a mistake last night where is it? So I have 1, 2, 5, and 10, and I was buying coins, and I kept clicking one, and then I didn't realize that this was one BNB. And so when I was really only trying to buy like $500, I bought 3K, and then I literally got instantly rugged, and I got so fucked. So it was like that was, I think, the first time that I've made a mistake where I like was just not buying the correct amount that I should have been. What's up, Sensor? Your dog's gonna have puppies in 2026. So, uh, okay, bye, JT. Good chat, dude. Maybe check back in at some point. But no, What I'm probably gonna do is I have a couple Facebook groups that I'm a part of, and I always see these dogs that need homes, and I'm gonna wait until one comes up that like really speaks to me. One of those ones where they're like, this dog is on the euthanasia list for tomorrow, and if it doesn't get picked up, then it's gonna get put down, and I want to like save it and give it a good life. But I'm also not really in the position right now where I want to. I don't really want a dog right now. There actually was, so fun fact, there was one that I saw like 2 weeks ago, and it looked like my old dog, and it was local, and I told myself that if nobody stepped up to like adopt it an hour before they said that he needed to have a tag, that I would do it. And when I reached out to them, they said that a foster had grabbed him, and I was like, all right, I feel less bad about it. But basically what I'm going to do is like I'm just going to scroll on Facebook. Well, it's a weird situation because I'm not getting a dog for a little bit. My dog passed away 9 months ago, and I'm just kind of not really, I'm not ready. Thanks, Ewan. Yeah, I don't want to get a dog from a breeder. I mean, all dogs need homes and stuff, but I'd rather do my own goodwill to society, to where if there's a dog that's at a shelter and is in danger of being put down, then yeah, I could go foster it, see if I like him, whatever. I'm a big animal guy. Um, One of the reasons why I do crypto and one of the reasons why I want to make money is so one day I can have a house on like 10 acres and then have like a giant yard, so that I could go adopt like 3 or 4 dogs, and they can all just be best friends and hang out and spend their days out on a major backyard. One of my biggest regrets that I had about my dog is that I wasn't able to find success fast enough to where I could buy a house, and so he never really got like his own backyard, which was kind of sad, unfortunately. Oh, so dang, your dog isn't neutered? That's kind of interesting. Thought everyone did that. Yo, what was this boxable thing that happened this morning? Like, what was this? This shit got pumped to like 4 mil. Damn, he had a nice flip on this, not gonna lie. So one of the things that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be learning how to do liquidity pools and stuff like that, because that's one of the things that I definitely haven't learned enough about. Like, I understand how they work, but I've never done the full strategy when it comes to everything that has to go into liquidity pool providing. But I think that's going to be one of the things that I do, and we'll see how that goes. All right, I got to pee real quick. Give me a sec. right. Let's see if we can make some money on stream today. I do want to explain my situation a little bit on what I did with Franklin last night. Dude, I fumbled that shit so hard. I watched Letterbomb buy this, and I thought he was crazy, and then he sold for a loss. And then it pumped. This is the kind of random shit that would pump. We haven't had like a super ridiculous coin like this in a while. I could see something like this running, but I don't know. So here's going to be my plan. Sensor, first of all, I'm going to respond to you in a little bit. I woke up super late, dude. I woke up at like 12. One of our cats like got on my chest while I was sleeping, and I just couldn't get up. But yeah, I'm going to get back to you in a little bit whenever I get off stream. Yeah, the flying ketamine horse thing. So I'm going to give you guys my take on the way that the trenches currently are. I feel like things are super random, and it feels like everything is such a pump and dump. Like this coin specifically just pumped from 100K to 4 mil, and then it dumped all the way back to like 350K, all within the span of like an hour. And I feel like the way that things are right now is everything is very much tweet driven. So people are just waiting for tweets. They're waiting for something to catch attention, and then everyone will pile into it. A good example of that last night was this microwave coin. Nikita Beer posted about this. He literally just posted like the meme, and people saw it on their tracker, pumped it from 15K to like 200K, and then it just died. Same thing with Franklin. Like Franklin has literally been the biggest tweet catalyst driven token on the entire market. So check this out. So last night, I told myself that I was going to redeem myself on Franklin. I know a lot of people were asking about that. So here's what I did. When Franklin was dumping yesterday, I bought here, I bought here, I bought here. I just kept buying. I had like 70K in it down here, and it pumped all the way back to like 12 or 13 mil. And I told myself, I was like, I need to make profit on this. I don't want to round trip this. So I was selling small clips into this, and then it dumped because 6-7 started getting all that attention because JD Vance and Mr. Beast both tweeted about it at like the same time. So everyone rotated out. Everyone was like buying that. And then the White House account fucking posted about it. Literally, like, this is exactly what has happened with me every time. This has happened 4 different times where I've like bought the dip and then I sold one pump too early. The good news is that I made like 7K off of it. The bad news is that I fumbled like 50K. If I would have just if I would have held even these last 3 sells, I would have made like 20 or 30K. But I could not mentally sit there as I watched this thing, because I was down when I was buying here, buying here, buying here. I was down like 10 or 15K at that point. And so I was holding, and I just told myself, I was like, I'm going to hold this bitch up with as many buys as I possibly can. And I told myself, I was like, I have to try to win on this coin. And so yeah, I was like slamming buys into all of the capitulation and trying to hold it up, while a bunch, dude, there were so many fucking big wallets and top blasters that were nuking into this. It was insane. I feel like for coins under 3 mil, you gotta ape small, otherwise you get cooked. Is it safer to size into coins over 5 million? Well, I'm gonna tell you something that I noticed recently is that there's like one or two coins, Franklin and Kabuto, and maybe like White Whale. There were people that were buying more, but if you look at other coins that are on the market right now, there are not that many people that are aping size. Everyone that's trading this market right now is basically just buying 5 SOL of something, and that's it. And so it's like, not only do we have less people trading in the market, but those people that are trading are also not really putting any size into stuff. So, bro said, so we should focus on X plays. I mean, if you want to get quick gains, then yeah, you got to be sitting around and you have to wait until like somebody tweets about something or whatever. Because that's like the way that you have to view the market right now is that the people that are trading are trenchers, people that are sitting at their computer and they're waiting for like a tweet to come out or something. The whales and stuff that used to be trading shitcoins are not buying this stuff. The Franklin, yes, but like in 6-7, yeah, people were aping the shit out of like the really big narrative coins. But if you go look on Twitch right now, and I also think that it makes sense to do this, regardless of whether or not like you think the streamer is good or whatever. But if you go look at the crypto category, and if you go click through all the streams, it's literally all of them are doing the same thing. They're all sitting there just waiting for new pairs and aping stuff at 5 to 10K. And once a coin hits like 100K, they just won't buy it. They won't even touch it. And so by looking at order books and seeing like how much people are buying of certain coins, and also looking at the way that people are acting, like I'll give you a great example. All these tracked wallets that I have on Franklin, besides like Frank, are all whales that have been buying and selling the coin. When Franklin was pumping, none of the trenchers were buying it. When 6-7 was pumping, none of the trenchers were buying it. So you have a lot of people that are constantly talking on Twitter about how there's no runners, while none of them ever bid anything when it's pumping anyway, or anything with like a good narrative that's over 5 mil. It's like once you get above that 5 mil threshold, there's a group of people on chain that are still trying to trade this stuff with size, but they're not like it's like there's a line, and the people that are buying coins right now in the market under 5 million are just like trenching. And so it's like there's a disconnect. Does that make sense? Like I'd be very interested to see what happens with Franklin, because it's in like this range spot, and I feel like everyone's just waiting for someone else to tweet about it. And it's like, what if there's no more Franklin tweets from big accounts? What happens then? And so this has been something that's been kind of hard for me to adapt to because I still want to trade. Like I still want to trade bigger caps. If I can buy something at 5 million and sell it 8 or 10, I'm happy with that. in this market, have you been able to trade a lot, or are you sitting on your hands? Well, I've been trying to trade, um, but I don't really trench like new pairs that much. And it's one of those things where I've been looking and I'm like, do I want to start like, buying stuff at 10K, selling at 15 or whatever, and just like trading like that? But it's just not really like what I built my portfolio on. And so I was feeling kind of down. I'm sure a lot of people probably feel the same way, but like the past 2 months, ever since Bitcoin took that huge shit, I haven't been trading the best. And I've been starting to say to myself, like, wow, like I'm a piece of shit. I really suck. But then I went back and I looked at my September and my October, and I realized that over the past 4 months, I'm up overall a lot because of the CCM meta that we had. I was trading like the streamer coins. I did well on that. BNB, I did really well on that. And now that we're kind of outside of a certain, like, there's no real meta right now, it's been harder because it's tougher to know what people are looking for. Right now, everyone's just like grasping for straws. And so, one of the things that I realized is like, when do I trade really well? I trade well when we're in a specific meta. So whether that's TikTok coins, whether it was AI, um, when it was like creator capital markets, ICM, I did okay. I didn't really do great on it because I didn't really buy into it. But I've done really well when there's specific metas, because you can kind of in your head say to yourself, okay, everyone's out here and they're kind of looking for the same kind of thing. Whereas right now, there's no consensus. So I think now is a really easy time. Now is a really easy time to overtrade and get fucked. And what I've been trying to do is I've been trying to force trades, and it just I'm gonna say something that it doesn't really matter to anybody else, but from the beginning of the shitcoin season on ETH back in 2023 up until now, I have done really well. But there's periods of like months in here where like I'll do bad. And because like I'm a content creator, I make videos, I stream and everything, it kind of gets to me sometimes where I say to myself, like, oh, like I need to be performing well at all times. But that's just not how trading works. And I've also kind of fallen into like seeing how other like trenchers and stuff, like there's some people that trench every day and they're up like 30K on the month. And then I just say to myself, that's just not really my style. Like, that's not really what I do. And so it is definitely a type of trading that if you get good at, it's super lucrative, but it's just not really like, it's not what I've done. I think that's a big reason as to why people don't really think of me as like a trader, even though I trade every single day, because I'm not like sitting around waiting to buy a coin at like 15K market cap. And when I look at the stuff that goes to like 100 to 500K market cap, like that ice dog coin that came out the other day, there was another one that came out like yesterday. It was some dog or whatever. I don't remember what the name of it was. But I say to myself, like, this isn't a meta. Like, this isn't on, I don't know. This isn't on any, like, there, like, why are people bidding this? And what I realize that there's people that are bidding stuff and they're trying to convince themselves that it's like a good meta or like a good coin, but it's really not. And so I guess a good way to put it is like I only want to be bidding stuff if I think it has the potential to go to 1 to 2 to 3 mil or higher. Whereas there's a lot of people that they trade and they know that something is a 200K topper narrative and they just want to trade it because they know that it can still pump. and they can scalp it from like 50K to 100K or whatever. Will I branch off to perps? No. I'll never do perps. I don't want to trade majors because I feel like we're in a spot where the market could still dump. And I don't want to get caught in a position where I size into majors again here. And then the market dumps. And I say to myself, I got impatient by trying to buy too early. And so while I think that SOL at $130 seems like it's low, SOL has inflation. And so back at like during the peak of last bull run, SOL went to like $260 or whatever. But the market cap of Solana is the same now as it was when SOL was at 260. So the inflation of their token can sometimes be deceiving where you think that it's like a good buy, but I still think that there's room for like Solana's grown in a huge way. So obviously there's there's more TVL, there's more people trading on it, there's more activity, it's the top chain. But I still think that there's room if we go into more of a bearish market for crypto for things to dump a little bit more, and I don't really want to get into it yet. If meme coins die out, do you think prediction markets will be the next big thing? Shit coins are not going to die. Shit coins are always going to be a thing. What's my overall opinion on the market? I think we're just in a lull. Not a lot of retail, not a lot of people speculating. A year and a half ago, we were in a market where people were blasting and holding because everyone felt like there was a lot of opportunity in the market. And right now, it's kind of the opposite of that, where the people that are trading and all your favorite trenchers and all these people that tweet and stuff, they're not holding. Like everyone's a trader. And so it's similar to what I remember when NFTs popped off, where people didn't want to sell their NFTs. And so there wasn't a lot of supply out on the market because they were thinking that things could go way higher. Now, everyone that's in the market right now is literally just in it for the quick flip and no one wants to hold anything. Take Franklin, for example. I think Franklin is a great coin. And the reason why I've gotten shaken out of it so many times and why I didn't trade it very well is because I personally always thought that with all the attention and shit that Franklin has, dude, this coin should not be at 13 mil. This coin should be at like 30 or 40 million. It's so viral, it's so popular, but nobody wants to hold it. And so even though I would personally want to hold it, I can't because I know that the rest of the market is not holding it. Does that make sense? But I'm not going to do perps, that's for sure. I'm going to continue to trade on chain, but I need to adjust the way that I trade because I can't really trade the way that I would like to. What I was doing like a year ago is I was constantly scalping like 50 to 100% gains. Like a coin would go to 20 mil, dump down to like 8, I'd buy. It would go to 16, I'd sell. But now the issue is like if a coin goes to 10 mil, it'll slow bleed down to like 2. It's so hard to time the bottom because people will just sell it off, rotate into something else, and then boom, someone will tweet about it. And then next thing you know, everyone's piling back into it. So there's too much uncertainty on why things are pumping right now. What happened to 6-7 last night? JD Vance and Mr. Beast both tweeted about it within an hour. They both tweeted 6-7. That's so true. Massive government accounts tweeting about it. Should be a 50 mil runner easy. Oh, dude, I agree. There's no reason why Franklin should be Franklin should be so much higher. Let's just leave it at that. Oh, literally what happened to 6-7? Dude, 6-7 also should be at like 40 mil. If the inflation of Solana affects its price in USD, do you think that affects the ceiling of shit coins, which is also priced in at USD? No, I don't. I don't think the price of Solana has anything to do with what's happening with shit coins. But it is pretty telling when you have 6-7 at 20 mil, even though it went to 40, and that was before JD Vance and Mr. Beast tweeted about it. This is the problem. This is why things are so difficult right now, is because I don't even know what, in my opinion, Franklin should be at 40 and 6-7 should be at 40. Instead, 6-7's at 20 and Franklin's at like 13. And it's like, if you think about the big creators, I say creators, but like the big traders and everything who made millions of dollars on Solana, a lot of them just are not blasting these coins because they know that the price action on a lot of them suck. Even in the case of 6-7, I saw when JD Vance tweeted about it, and when it went to like 13, I was like, I don't want to buy this because I don't know like how much higher is it really going to go, and then it pumped to like 30. But you're almost better off, and I think this is the mindset of a lot of people, you're better off just waiting for a tweet and then aping it. But they're just meme coins. The volume isn't even in the space. Just because JD Vance posts something, you're not going to see volume. No, that's like exactly why you would see volume. What makes meme coins go up? Attention. When you have giant, like Franklin's a great example. Why is Franklin going up? Because it keeps getting posted by all these major accounts on Twitter. If you think that a big account posting a meme like 6-7 or Franklin doesn't relate to volume, then that's like a major issue. JD Vance posting something doesn't put money in people's pockets. The money isn't there. People are broke. So do you just not understand like how meme coins work? JD Vance posting about a meme is quite literally what brings attention and volume into coins. Anybody that's in shit coins knows that. Do I ever drink from that bottle? No, of course not. That's funny. This is Zen, and I don't know. I don't like to swallow. I don't like to swallow Zen. When I was younger, I used to dip, so I'm kind of just in the habit of spitting. Like, I'll ask this question on 6-7 last night. When 6-7 was at 10 mil, why did it pump to 30 mil? What was the reason why 6-7 pumped? Because JD Vance and Mr. Beast tweeted about it within an hour of each other. That's why it pumped. And it's like very cut and dry. Stop the Nick. Yeah, I mean, I'm not like huge on it. I do like one or two a day. Yo, Crypto Elite, I've been seeing you tag me and stuff. Yeah, if JD Vance and Mr. Beast didn't tweet about 6-7, then it would not have pumped. It's a very simple cause and effect. And this is why understanding the game is so important. Because if you think that 6-7 just randomly pumped for no reason, then you're just not in the loop. Smoke Winston's? I don't smoke. I've never smoked like cigarettes. It's difficult to predict what Mr. Beast will post. That's why you have to be watching their Twitter. That's why you have to be tracking accounts. You see a tweet from JD Vance or Mr. Beast or whatever. That's why everyone started buying. Yeah, this happened like last night at whatever time. I was awake, but like I said, I was in Franklin at that point. Is this a DeFi exchange? This is GMGN. It's like a trading terminal to trade shitcoins on. No, I'll never launch a coin. What's Pump Fund been up to? Nobody from them has tweeted a thing in forever. Elon hasn't said anything. No airdrop. I have no thoughts on PFP. Are they being sued? Yeah, that's why I would never launch a coin or anything like that. Makes no sense. I would not launch a coin for any reason. The good thing about the way that I've approached the space is I don't ever shill tokens. So there's never people that are commenting on my posts and they're like, don't you remember when you shilled this at 10 mil and now it's at 0? So it's like I never shill. I never launch anything. And so if you think about it from my perspective, like my Twitter account's pretty big. I can just post, I can trade, live my life. I know that I'm going to make money from trading, just like the open market. And it's nice when I don't have to think about, oh, someone got fucked over because of me. Meanwhile, there's like a lot of accounts that are out there that are doing some shady shit. Did I see the Candace Owen coin? No, I didn't. Anyway. That's just kind of my thoughts on the way that things are right now. Another good example, this was literally dead. 2 mil, got listed on Binance Alpha, pumped all the way to like 10 in one candle, and then just bled out forever. And this died. I was literally saying that we didn't see anything like this in a while, and then it's fucking dead. But yeah, if you look, like, a lot of these guys are just quick scalping everything. Oh, wow, this pumped hard. What? And notice how there's, like, none of the trenchers that are in this. If you look at, like, every low cap coin, it's, like, the same thing. It's hard to hold in this market. It totally is. I agree. It is hard to hold in this market because everyone's a flipper. And not to say that this market isn't about making money, because it is. But the issue is that nobody wants to hold anything because they know that the ceilings are very low. If there were tons of runners and things were going to 5 to 10 mil, people would hold way more because they want to catch that move. But yeah, I don't want to buy any of this stuff. See, a bunch of trenchers bought first candle and then no one touches it again. Literally the same thing on every fucking coin. I wonder what it takes for 6-7 to pump to like 40 mil in this market. Like, who has to tweet about it? Who has to post about it? Where does the money come from to pump this thing another 2x? Problem is that you're in a good coin and then someone vamps or makes a bonk coin and then you get wrecked. That's why you can't hold. Well, that's the other thing. Imagine if you were holding Franklin and you bought it at like 8 mil and then it ran to 16 and you're like, oh, I'm in a great coin. And then even Franklin got PvP'd. And then next thing you know, you bought the coin at 8. Now it's at 2 or 3. You don't know if the PvP version is going to take over and you're down and you sell the bottom and then the main one pumps back up to 20. It's just too hard to predict. It's too unpredictable. And the problem for people like me is that I say to myself, what's the risk to return of aping into a lot of these coins with size when you don't know what's going to happen? Which is why, by the way, there's a lot of people that aren't even bothering to trade. It's all about risk to return. If there were higher ceilings and coins were going to 5 to 10 to 15 mil and not getting PvP'd, whales would come back and they would trade it because there'd be opportunity. When you think about your money, you think about $10 to $20,000 or whatever that a whale might blast into a coin, they say to themselves, would I rather take this 10 to 20K and blast it into this coin at 5 mil? Like, what happens? Like, it's just the risk to return is just, you have to think about everything from risk to return. Whenever I'm looking at a coin in a certain market cap, I say to myself, like, what's my risk? What's my return? Is it worth it? And that's why a lot of whales have left, because they say to themselves, like, if they've made money, and let's say that they have $1 million, is it even worth their time and effort to be buying coins at 5 mil that could potentially be PvP'd, or maybe the ceiling is 5 mil when they already have a lot of money? Like, a lot of those guys want to take 10 to 20K and they want to turn that into like 30 or 40 or 50. But if you're buying 10K of a coin and you can only get 5K out of it because the ceilings are so low, a lot of them have said it's not really worth it. Because if you put 10K into a coin, your downside is a lot heavier than the upside. Meaningful size doesn't want that risk. Last night, when I blasted 70K into Franklin, I said to myself, the most that I was willing to lose was 7K. And I wanted to try to make 15 to 20. I ended up making 7. Yeah, I just don't like the narrative of PFP personally. I wouldn't buy it. I actually off ramped a lot of money off of my wallets and stuff because I told myself I didn't want to have it sitting here. What's up, Ray? Anyway, I'm kind of just talking out loud. But I hope that whoever shows up to my streams and hears me out and everything understands from the mindset of somebody who does like to size into coins, like why things are the way that they are. If there were coins that were going to 5 to 10 to 20 mil every single day, I would be blasting hundreds of SOL into these coins daily. I don't want to fuck up the progress that I made this cycle by trying to chase. I'll give you a really good example. When I bought Franklin, I bought 120 SOL of Franklin at 4 mil because it was starting to get posted a lot. And then it went from 4 mil down to like 1. And I'm just like, dude, what am I supposed to do? I always thought Franklin was a $30 to $40 million market cap coin. The market has proved me wrong. The more I even say this out loud, I do want to hold Franklin. But the thing is I could see this going, like, if nobody tweets about it today, I could see it going down to like 8 again. Because everyone's just waiting for tweets. And then what happens if it goes down to 8 and there are no tweets? I want to see what this guy does with this. You think Franklin's going to pop off? It might. I just asked myself, where does the money come from? I'm about to hop off. I have to go eat. I'm like starving and I have a headache. Yeah, I'm probably going to call it. I'm going to go get some food.